Welcome to Sylvan Lake, the Sylvan Lake Gulls!
Without further delay, Gulls baseball fan, let's welcome the first ever coach in our history, Jason Chatwood.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your Sylvan Lake Gulls!
It was a great start to the 9-game home stretch for the Sylvan Lake Gulls after defeating the Moose Jaw Miller Express 9-1 here at Gulls Field after returning home from a 6-game road trip in Saskatchewan. 7 games on the road total. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Gulls broadcast on FloCollege, presented by VisitSylvanLake.ca. Jim Claggett here with me. I'm Carol Clark. Glad, as always, to have you tuning in on your Wednesday night for some more WCBL action. And Jim, the Sylvan Lake Gulls just put together a full team effort last night. They got it started thanks to the guy on the mound, thanks to Kai Rempel. He got things going, and then everything kind of fell in place after that.
We've seen this a couple of times where they've completed the game from start to finish, where they've done all the little things right, and then they've done the big things righter. And then, if that's such a thing.
Yeah, exactly. And then you take a look at guys that have been struggling lately, and you see things like Matty Fung, who, cashes in 3 RBIs on the night himself. He had a good night, not only defensively, but with the bat. It was good to see some guys who have been maybe having a little bit of a tough go, finding their game, and now, it's just all about that momentum and riding off that momentum when you get to see the same team again the next night.
Exactly. I mean, you know what these guys bring. I mean, you don't know what the pitcher does, but, I mean, you'll find out soon enough. The pitchers on the Gulls side know what these guys can do with the bat. So it's nice to get that rubber match right away and see how things play out again.
Tonight they're going to turn to the guy on the mound who they call Bob. Noah Bourgeois will get the start here tonight for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, and not the first time we've seen Bourgeois make an appearance here at Gulls Field, but so far he's got over 14 innings of work in his season. But the lineup that he's going to have to face tonight, very similar to what we saw last night. In fact, pretty much the exact same batting order except for one guy, and that is Evan Derringer. But other than that, they got a lot of, similar faces on here, and Adrian Vivo as well stepping in the number 8 spot as well. But most of them are all going to be guys getting some more action here at Gulls Field tonight for the Moose Jaw Miller Express. So
this is the first time we're going to see Noah Bourgeois, or Bob
starting. Yeah, absolutely. He did come in relief just a couple weeks ago when the one night that you weren't here, actually, unfortunately.
There you go.
I had Hunter Jones with me, and that's how we found out the nickname. This guy is Bob. So here we go.
And Bob starts things off with a ball as he is facing the top of the order, Thomas Soto. That comes in outside for a ball. 2-0 the count on Soto. And man from Round Rock, Texas. And this is out to Noah Connings out in center field. And kind of similar to last night. 3 hits or 3 pitches and an out.
Yeah. Yeah. And the defense again just kind of picking up from where they left off. And Noah Connings, he doesn't miss a lot of those so far from what we've seen from number 12 out at center field. He is a guy that covers a lot of ground quickly, and not a lot get past him.
No, we've had a lot of center fielders come through this organization. As first pitch here to William Edwards is a strike that kind of make center field Death Valley for fly balls, and that's nice to see. And a ground ball down to third. Matt Brandt scoops it up and flips it over to first base, and the defense stepping up right away to help their pitcher, Noah Bourgeois.
Great ground play there from 18, Brett and Matt Brett. So good to see him get some action early on, who had the night off last night. for the Sylvan Lake Gulls.
This will bring up number 39, the right fielder, Austin Gurney, veteran of the Miller Express. And he swings at the first pitch he sees, and Matt Brent got it in foul territory. And a 3-up, 3-down inning for Noah Bourgeois. You couldn't ask for a better start right there. So there we go. End of the top half of the first. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. The Gulls will come to bat after this.
For more than 40 years, we've been there, helping Canadians find the extra space they need to grow and to create new memories. Sentinel Storage. Buy Canadian, store Canadian.
So the lineup that he's going to have to face tonight, a couple changes from last evening, but not a whole lot. Noah Conning's going to start things off yet again. Flores making another night and another appearance. Brock Tiarina, the DH, yeah, he'll be there again. And the new one is Trip Ray. He's going to fill in tonight. And then as is Aiden Macaris, he's going to come in and fill in at right field tonight. And Matt Brandt over at third, as you saw earlier, making a couple plays early on already in this ball game. So,
thank you.
Sylvan Lake Gulls, absolutely. We'll have a chance to open the scoring first.
Noah Conings will step in to start things off. Rodolfo Guardiola. Love the name. Just flows off the tongue. Sometimes. First pitch to Conings is a ball. And he takes a cut at that one as his teammates over there jumping. You got to keep an eye out. You just never know when a ball's coming this way.
Yeah, just ask Coach Chatwood.
No kidding. He knows that from hard experience. And that's fouled out of play. 1-2 the count on the Gulls center fielder. And I asked him about that play in center field where he came in and he just put his hands out. He said, I couldn't see it at all.
Oh, wow. And then he still made the catch.
He says, and I looked at everybody and they're looking at me like I have to find it.
Well, and he found it.
And he did find it.
Just in the nick of time.
So it happens.
You know, that's good to know. Yeah. You know, you had a good call there last night when you thought he didn't see it at all. Well, you were right, because it, you know, that's just the way the lighting was at that time of day, right?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, it just hits that right spot and you just not going to see it. Oh, and he didn't check his swing in time, and Guardiola has a strikeout to start things off on his end. A good pitch there by Guardiola, just freezes him. Yep.
Nice sinker there, I think, from Guardiola as well. It kind of fooled him. He wasn't sure if that was going to move a little bit more on the inside or if that was going to just drop straight down, which it did.
That'll bring up Jaden Flores, second baseman tonight. Well, he was last night as well. And first pitch swinging, he hits this into the hole. He's got some good wheels, and he beats it out. Good hustle down the line by Jaden Flores. It was deep in the hole, and Thomas Soto's got a good arm, but he's got to get a lot more on it to catch that speedy runner than Jaden Flores. He even made the call.
Yeah, he sure
yeah,
did.
I'm good.
All
I'm good.
Smiles for Mr. Flores. Yeah, that was a great base hit.
First baseman Bryce Turner steps in. That misses outside for a ball.
Turner went 1 for 4 last night. Scored a run in himself in that 9-1 win over Moose Jaw. Sylvan Lake needed that win last night too, by the way. I think that was just a big confidence booster for everybody involved, and and that's a great way to start a home stretch when you got 9 straight coming your way. Why not start off with a win and just carry off that momentum, especially when you get a chance to play that same team the next night. I think this week, this stretch, right in the crunch time of Gulls baseball, is kind of going to be crucial.
Yeah, well, that 1-6 Saskatchewan trip, that leaves a sour taste in your mouth. Last night was the Listerine mouthwash right there. They got it cleaned out pretty good.
Yeah.
But you got to do it again, and then again, and then again, and then again. You get the idea.
Turner hitting .314 on the year so far at his 50 at-bats. Flores is going.
Yep, he's taking off, and he got a good jump and stays on the bag. And he has himself a base hit and now a stolen base. Jeff Chipley is our home plate umpire, by the way, folks. Chris Hartley, the crew chief, just made that call over at second base, and Levi Wagner is the umpire down the left field line. Those are our 3 umpires this evening. 2-2 the count on Turner. And he gets up in front of that one. And grounds it into foul territory.
And as we take a look at the defense, as I mentioned, not a lot has changed from the lineup last night to tonight, but in left field, Tanner DeGrazia, William Edwards at center, and Austin Gurney will be out in right field tonight. So the same guys that were in the outfield last night, same positions. That is grounded just left of third baseline. Speaking of third base, that's one position that is new and filling in by a new player, and that is number 7 in Adrian Vivo. Thomas Soto over at short, Ben Wallachek at second, and then Jackson Yeager stays at first. And then the other positions that have changed is catcher and pitcher. Catcher is Evan Derringer playing tonight.
Is he going to give us both barrels?
I see what you did there. Nice.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I try.
Yeah. Well done. Well done.
I got a real bad one for you later on.
Can't wait. Yeah. Let us stew in excitement for that one.
You got to tee it up.
Yeah.
You know that.
Okay. I'm sure I will.
We'll talk about it in a break here. When we get a little lull in the play. That's fouled off. So. No, wait, I'll wait.
So, yeah, no,
yeah.
Never mind.
No, there's a little voice inside my head that says, you know what, Jim, just don't do that. And then there's the other voice that says, why? Why not? Why change?
Yeah.
You know you're going to do it.
It's good content.
Full count on Bryce Turner. Well, you'll be the judge of that. I'm a little biased in that regard. Soto up with it, and this time a strong throw across the diamond to nail Bryce Turner for the second out.
Yeah, Soto wasn't going to be beat twice in this inning, that's for sure, as he put on a display of just an absolute cannon of an arm right to first in time. He's got quite the arm for that small frame.
Brock Tiarina steps in. He's the designated hitter once again tonight.
He was 2 for 4 last night,
Yeah.
and he had an RBI. He had a pretty good night at the plate, doing his job.
Well, I think, and I mentioned it, like most of the hits last night, whether they were at somebody or they found an opening, were hard hit.
Oh, yeah.
As the guys say, they barreled it.
Yeah, a lot of barrel on the ball, for sure.
And so that's a good sign, but now you got to keep it up again. That's one game does not make a season. It doesn't ruin it, it doesn't make it. So.
Well, and if history tells us anything, it's that Moose Jaw Miller Express have come into this ballpark and they have made it hard on the Sylvan Lake Gulls. They have played some good ball here at this ballpark. And
they have.
It surprises me to see them, just like Okotoks, just like some other teams, who aren't as hot to start the season.
Well, and again, I think that speaks to the parity of the league now.
Yeah, Absolutely.
Is teams, they see what Okotoks has done. They see what the Gulls have done. And the Berries are a perfect example as they came in now in their second year, and they're 17-3. As a strikeout there, this bookends as Guardiola starts the inning with a strikeout and ends it with a strikeout. No runs, one base hit, one man left on base. Through one complete, we are scoreless. Moose Jaw coming to bat.
5-4. Bombers up 2-0 already in this game at the bottom of the second inning there. Medicine Hat up 2-0 over Weyburn at the bottom of the second, and Swift Current Fort Mac still scoreless at the top of the first.
There we go. You are now up to date. Thank you, Mr. Clark.
No worries.
Matty Fung will lead things off here in the third. First pitch swinging, shocking. Never.
Well, if it's a good pitch and it's coming down the middle
Yeah.
that he wants, he'll swing at it.
Exactly.
He's not afraid. And we were talking to him again before the game and how he was kind of just seeing the game last night. Yeah, he felt comfortable. He felt like he was seeing things well, and he's just hoping to carry that on to tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it going.
That's all you got to do. Simple, right?
Yeah.
Says nobody.
Yeah. Says the two golfers that
Yeah.
can go from a 79 or an 80 to a 100.
And they call that a foul ball.
I think because that went off Matty's foot.
Might have been.
He was hobbling and he pointed at his right foot, so I'm thinking that's why it was foul. Because technically the ball stayed fair.
He's given a little tap,
Yeah.
not because of his music playing. He does have a little guard on that right foot as well, so he's done that before. Like every other batter, I'm sure.
Nothing like hitting a sore spot on the sore spot again.
Yeah, you seem to hit it exactly on that spot too. And Fung sends that off the screen. Count 1-2 as Fung leads things off. The top of the order, Noah Connings on deck, and then Jaden Flores. The three batters scheduled to face Rodolfo Guardiola. And there's Matty Fung lacing one into left field. And a good job there by the Gulls left fielder. Get the bat on the ball and go opposite field.
Well, just showing off the patience yet again from Matty Fung. Great patience, great base hit down the left field line, and he thought about to, but smart play just to come back to first.
Yeah.
As we know, Tanner DeGrazia has a arm on him out in left field.
That'll bring up Noah Connings, who struck out his first time up facing Guardiola. That misses outside for ball one.
Brampton, Ontario kid goes to Cloud County Community College. And so far this year batting for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, 282, 8 RBIs, and a homer.
He fouls this out of play and right out of the stadium.
Yeah, see ya. I think my favorite part is watching the kids that are in the ballpark just start beelining it to go out in the parking lot to try to fetch that baseball.
It's like a magnet.
Yeah.
They just go. A throw over to first. Keep Matty Fung close. Probably not the best move for Guardiola. That was his, I can see you. This is my move that really isn't my best move. So keep
Now,
that under wraps.
We got to ask, is there incentive for these baseballs that these kids are finding? You know, is there an incentive that they get out of maybe returning a baseball? Do they get some kind of deal at the store? Do they get a free ice cream? What, you know, because baseballs, they can't be cheap on a budget for any team in the WCBL.
Let me put it this way. If they get a free ice cream, I'm going to chase the next one.
Yeah, we'll just lose Jim halfway through the broadcast.
Yeah.
If you just hear Jim all of a sudden drop his headset, well, we know where he's going.
And I'm pretty sure I can push some of those kids out of the way. You just watch.
Yeah.
And that's down the right field line. That's going to be a fair ball. Matty Fung not even thinking of stopping at second base, and Noah Connings not even thinking of stopping at first. So Fung gets his way over to third on the double by Noah Connings, and the Gulls have something going with nobody out here in the bottom half of the third inning. They've got runners on second and third, and Jaden Flores coming to bat. This is just in the perfect spot.
Absolutely.
Away from the right fielder, and then he's got to get the ball, square himself, and then make a throw to the infield. Matty Fung knew right away. He had the ball in front of him. He saw where it was going.
It looked exactly like a mere reflection of what Matty Fung did the play beforehand. Opposite field hit just inside the line. This time, though, Noah Connings, he really got on his horse And he ran the bases, and that is going to drop into the gap. That's going to be 2 RBIs, potentially. Conning's coming home, and he gets there.
And Flores with a double and 2 RBIs. And the Gulls fans are eating it up as Jaden Flores cashes in 2 runners on not exactly a hard hit ball, but it was just in the right spot. As the center fielder, William Edwards, had 1 play and 1 play only, and that was to go home with that. So the Gulls spring into that 2-0 lead here, courtesy of a couple of hits by Konings and Fung, and then Jaden Flores cashes them in. Still nobody out. And this is into deep right field as Austin Gurney has to go back, and he throws a rainbow into third base.
Yeah, what a throw.
But he gets Bryce Turner for the first out of the inning.
It's just kind of starting to be a hitting parade, the Sylvan Lake Gulls. I mean, 3 straight base hits, and then Bryce Turner even got a really good piece of that ball that carried out to right field.
Yeah, if there had been a runner on third, that probably would have scored the runner on third.
Yeah.
So, Brock Tiarina looking to get in on the action. The designated hitter, he's got a base runner over in third, and Jaden Flores. And he's swinging out that first pitch, and a called strike, or a strike, I should say.
Hitting 300 ahead of this game into the season. He's had 60 at bats already this year, 8 RBIs, and one of those being a home run. 18 hits on the year for Brock Tiarina.
He's having himself a good year.
Not bad at all, absolutely.
That misses inside. 2-1 the count on the designated hitter from Andrews, Texas. Lubbock Christian University for Brock Tiarina. And that pitch missing outside. Tiarina ahead in the count, 3-1. With 1 down, 2 runners already across for the Gulls. They're looking to add to that 2-0 lead over the Moose Jaw Miller Express here in the bottom of the third. And he tries to send this down the third baseline, but it just goes foul. Full count on Tiarina. And he drills this one down to first base. And a good play there to knock it down by Jackson Yeager, and then steps on the bag to get the force out over at first. And that is the second out of the inning. That'll bring up Trip Ray, who took a walk back in the second inning.
The catcher, number 13, Trip Ray.
I'm waiting for this big man to get into a hit here.
Yeah.
He looks like he's got some power there. They're all big, though, these guys. Oh, my goodness.
Well, you know, one of the last times he was catching, he called an incredible game against, I believe that was Brooks that he called that game, that Gulls had a big win, the 9-3 victory.
I believe you are right.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we've been wrong before. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm wrong again. In fact, I probably could find it here on my good old handy internet laptop. It takes a wild swing at that one. Goes down 1-2.
It was Matt McKenzie was pitching, I know that. And he pitched a fine game.
Yeah, Matt McKenzie, Kai Rappel was the one that ended up closing, and yeah, Trip Ray was the catcher that night. Can confirm.
And he swings and misses, and the throw down to first by Evan Derringer gets Trip Ray. But the inning comes to a close, but not before the Gulls cash in 2 runs. They carry a 2-0 lead after 3 complete. The Miller Express coming to bat.
Yeah,
But
Bess
Papa
Elena.
Bess, I just call him Papa. I call him Sir. I call him whatever I want. He's a big man. And he's here tonight. The family,
Love
him
it.
and his wife are here tonight to watch Nick and the Gulls play some baseball. They're
All
going to do a
over-
little sightseeing.
All the from LaSalle, Ontario.
Yeah.
I love it. Good to hear. And so is
Dylan Meitner's
Meitner's
parents.
family.
We
Yeah,
met
parents.
them.
They're here from Vancouver.
Yeah.
Great people, you know, and they were telling me that they're like, man, we knew we were coming up today. They flew in this morning, and they're like, watch, that's the one game that we're going to miss, the game before, because Dylan Meitner was supposed to pitch last night.
That's right. He
But
was the
now,
starter.
because he has a upper body injury, and this is grounded to short, Thomas Soto grounds it, and we'll throw it in time to record the first out. We found out that because of that, with that upper body injury, he'll now have a chance to pitch an inning tonight, and potentially on Sunday might be the starter.
Okay.
So there's some inside knowledge for you
Right.
back home, and
That's
for
good.
my broadcast partner too, because yeah, no, it's good. It was good to kind of hear that, because they're like, honestly, we were not. They're obviously not happy that their kid couldn't play last night, but just the circumstances. Now they get a chance to watch him in action, so that's awesome to see.
This is Matt Brandt, the third baseman tonight for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Mansfield, Texas. And this is outside with that pitch does Guardiola. 61 pitches on the night for the starter for the Moose Jaw Miller Express. He is trailing 2-0, 2 runs on 4 Gulls hits. Brandt sends this into foul territory, and the first baseman, Jackson Yeager, had his glove out, kind of like the kid in the Benchwarmers movie, just hoping it would land in his glove. It kind of looked like. He's going, okay, just put it out there.
Ben Wallachuk also coming all the way from second on that play to try to get maybe underneath of it. He, yeah, like I said, he's one for the drama, that guy. We saw him with his base running, getting low like Spider-Man, and he playing a little cat and mouse over at second, cat and mouse at third.
And fouled off by Brandt to stay alive. He laid down a perfect bunt too in that game, or bunt single.
He did.
That was well placed.
Yeah.
I think it was Kyler Rinn who was on the mound at the time, and he had to slide to kind of corral it, and then he had no throw at all. And that misses inside. The count even at 2-2 on Matt Brandt, who says he loves the game of golf.
Well, that's the kind of friend that we like, isn't it?
Yeah. I just don't know when we can golf with these guys. You know, they're so busy
Yeah, no doubt.
playing this baseball thing, you know.
I will tell you one thing. Mondays are their off days.
Okay, well,
You got a lot of Mondays off. You can, I can't. I got to work a full-time job.
I got a full-time job,
Yeah.
staying alive.
I knew it was gonna be something smart coming out.
Duh.
Duh. Yeah.
And walked there by Matt Brandt as he battles back and gets on base for Aiden
The right
Macaris.
fielder, number 24, Aiden Macaris.
Well, and then too, I think we'll see some of these players now. They won't be golfing, but they'll be probably taking part, volunteering. They'll be at the Gulls Give Foundation golf tournament that they have every single year, and that I believe is at the end of July.
Somewhat
it's
July
near
21st.
the end of July.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, July 21st, I believe. Alberta
Yeah,
Springs.
yeah, you're correct. The Birdie Bash, Gulls Give Foundation Birdie Bash, July 21st, out at Alberta Springs.
I wonder, you know what? And there's a called strike there, as he says, the home plate umpire Jeff Chipley says Macaris went around. I wonder if we, somebody should approach Sully and say, are you happy with that name, Birdie Bash?
Yeah, might be a little
tender.
tender,
Yeah.
mistasteful.
It's like, come on. We might want to rethink that.
Yeah, they're thinking golf birdies maybe instead of our own
yeah,
birdies.
well, I'm just saying.
I don't know.
Read between the lines.
Yeah.
And Macros sends this down to third base, and they're going to try and turn 2, but Aiden Macros can run for a big man as they get the force out over at second for the second out, but Macros gets on the fielder's choice. No throw at all there for Ben.
Yeah, that's a hard double play to make. You got a long throw to second and then another long throw. It was the same distance of a throw from third base to second, then from second to first. That's a lot of throwing.
That's the hard double play.
That's a very hard double play, yeah.
The 5-4-3.
It's got to be the longest, one of the longest ones.
Matty Fung, first pitch swinging, and this is close to the fence. Yeah, close enough that no play on that one for Vivo.
Although Vivo kind of gave up on it, you know, I think if he really wanted, he might have had a chance. He just kind of, I think he thought it was going out of play like everybody else here at the Gulls Stadium did, and
there's a lot
let
of
it
foul
drop.
territory in this stadium.
There is, yeah. And the thing is, too, being a third baseman, is that we're trying to slide and having a chance at hurting yourself on the, you know, the fence that's right there.
Stolen base there for Aiden Macros, by the way. Yeah, no,
like that fence comes in quickly.
Gets in the way.
It does, yeah. I mean,
he got a good jump on that one.
Absolutely.
Not much of a throw there by Evan Derringer.
A couple hopper on that one.
Just kind of fired it into the ground. So a stolen base for the right fielder. Matty Fung still at the plate with 2 down. Here in the bottom half of the fourth, Gulls with a 2-0 lead. And Fung gets underneath this one and skies it over towards shortstop, and Thomas Soto puts his glove on it and brings the inning to a close. So no runs on no hits, and 1 man left on base after 4 complete. The Gulls lead the visiting Moose Jaw
first baseline in a foul territory, and a great catch there made by number 39, Austin Gurney, to record the first out on the first pitch swinging. As we take a quick look at the Hearthstone Property Management replay, yeah, he comes in and he makes that look pretty easy, but definitely any kind of time you got to slide to make a catch, it's not, as you would know. But yeah, you're on an inning count. Let's talk about what what the future holds for Kai Rempel with the Sylvan Lake Gulls for this season.
The inning limit, it sucks because, you wish you could go out there every day and throw and help your team win and stuff like that. But, it's more for when I go back to Cloud, just keep my arm healthy. I had a little bit of dead arm when I went back in the fall, and I was at 110 innings from high school ball and here in Sylvan. So my arm was hurting, whole body was kind of degrading. And so this inning limit is in hopes to kind of keep me healthy through the fall recruiting process for me to hopefully move on to a 4-year school.
A 4-year school. So do you have your eyes set on anybody in particular, or is it wait and see?
It's kind of a wait and see,
Okay.
I'm pretty open to really anything, all those schools are really good and everything. So
You're not telling us which ones, are you?
no, I'm not.
Yeah, I knew it. I could tell.
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid that one. That's
Okay.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
I do have to ask you, last year as Flores grounds this right to Soto, he fields it and will throw it in time for the second out. Last year you came in considered an affiliate, but you really found your game. And like you said, you got a little bit more action on the mound, and there was one game in particular that I remember. I was here alone. I believe it was against the Brooks Bombers.
Yep.
You had 11 Ks
Yeah.
that night.
Yeah.
And that was probably the beginning of Kai Rempel starting to find his element. Would you say that's accurate? Or, did you just get a lot more comfortable? Was that a big confidence boost for you in your game?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I started the year pretty rough. My first outing was against the Dogs, and it was a rough one. And then kind of having that near the end shows the growth. I had as a pitcher working with Matt Hape, and Chatwood would come in time to time, pop his head in, ask how everything's going. But working with Matt, helped me, deliver that outing. That was kind of a representation of the work I put in with him, and everything was working. I had 3 pitches for strikes, and I think I had strikeouts on all 3. So that was just kind of I felt comfortable up there. I had my teammates behind me. We were a close group last year, and it was like it was really good to see success finally out there after a couple not so great ones.
Well hit, but hanging up in the air out to left field. Bryce Turner gives it a ride, but not far enough not to avoid the glove of the left fielder, Tanner DeGrazia. So 3 up, 3 down inning for the Moose Jaw Miller Express, and we can hang around. We can hang around here with.
We got the stat man right, so we can probably hang out a little bit on the broadcast with Kai Rempel from Calgary, Alberta, Skulls pitcher, and you mentioned like that Brooks game was just the start of what good things to come from you, because after that I noticed the Sylvan Lake Gulls turned to you in some pretty big moments, especially in postseason baseball.
Well, I wasn't there in the postseason. So,
no, okay, well, near the end, sorry.
Yeah,
I guess I should say near the end of the season. I just noticed you were getting a lot more looks.
Yeah.
In some pretty key situations.
Yeah, I just wanted to get my feet wet, and me and Hay kind of went over, and then I didn't get really meaningful innings, and that's kind of what I wanted, just to kind of face some college hitters before I go to Cloud and just figure everything out. Don't get too antsed up on the mound, just kind of stay in rhythm and everything. So once I kind of got that outing under me, like, it was a lot easier for me to go out there with the confidence and knowing that my stuff can play at this level, and I can really have success. So.
What does it mean to have a guy like Ty Boudreau walk into the dressing room the other night and now he said, "I'm back"?
Yeah. It was kind of crazy because he's right next to me in the locker room. So I was like, "You're back?" I'm like, "No, you're coming." I didn't even know.
Yeah.
And then I saw him right next to me, and I was like, "Buddy, we might have a problem in the locker room if you keep putting your stuff on my side." But other than that, it was great to see him. He brings a presence of when he's here, things get done. You got to perform and everything, and he's an idol to a lot of the guys, and kind of how Sylvan baseball should be played.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe Ty Boudreau.
Well, and speaking of guys coming back, you also got number 21, the first guy to ever hit a home run in Gulls franchise history. First guy to ever steal a base. First guy to ever get, a run scored. And Cleary Simpson, I don't believe, did you play with Cleary at all, a couple of seasons ago, or was that just before you got here?
No, that was before I got here.
Yeah.
So, I've been kind of to get to know him a little bit, chatting and stuff like that. But, I haven't seen him play or whatever. So, but I've heard he's a really good ball player. I'm really excited that he's for Sylvan and he's going to, help us win ball games.
Yeah,
so.
It's just so cool to me personally. You get to see these guys that are, been here since day one, and they're still having chances to play WCBL baseball. I mean, obviously this will be Cleary's last season. Most likely this will be Ty Boudreau's last season as well, as he's got a lot of looks right now. But, for yourself, moving forward, you got a lot of baseball left. What's your ideal goal? Would you be happy if you could play with the Sylvan Lake Gulls in a couple years' time, or are you what's your goals?
I'm hoping I get to play for Sylvan next year.
Yeah.
It's such an awesome spot to be because I've a relationship with a lot of returners and a lot of guys, and it's a winning ball club. They treat us so nice here with this beautiful field. The amenities and billet housing and stuff like that. So all that stuff is so great, and it's hard to pass up. Like there's not really a lot of places I'd rather go. I mean, the draft league or something like that, join Boudreau, but here is as good as it gets, to be honest.
Yeah.
Top of the 6th inning here, Gulls with a 2-0 lead over Moose Jaw, and Noah Bourgeois is still on the mound, 73 pitches. Do you think this might be the last inning for Noah?
I don't know. He's dealing up there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's getting outs. I mean, I think you keep him rolling, to be honest.
Okay. There's Coach Rempel says keep him going. Good play there by Matt Brandt as he drives that one down to first base and gets the first out of the inning here. So when you see a guy, like you said, dealing like that, are you looking at what he's doing and seeing how that might match up for your particular game or style of game as well?
Yeah, a lot of the catchers will have conversations, and Hape and Wyatt will have conversations about what pitches we're working, and sometimes a guy will come down to the bullpen after their outing and say, hey, pitch backwards to this team. They're really aggressive early in the count, but then they get really defensive and you can blow heaters by them later. So, a lot of the guys are helping each other out because it's a team game. So, I know when I came out, I went down to the bullpen. I told Tyler, and I was like, dude, your stuff will play against them. Your off speed is going to be a big factor. And, he punched out a bunch of guys on it because it's a nasty pitch.
Yeah.
And part of that combination, you guys share information with each other. Trip Ray called a really good game, Cam McLeod caught a really good game last night for you guys. Trip Ray is doing the same thing.
Exactly, and that's the conversation him and Cam will have in the sort of, okay, with this lineup, this is what we saw from similar guys. Not every pitcher's the same, and sometimes with Bob on the mound, it's that curveball will play a lot more, and his fastball will play up because of it, and. That was nuts.
Okay.
Cam didn't even get close to that ball. I don't know what he was doing.
What was he thinking?
If we get a replay on that, I want to see that. I need to see that effort. That was poor.
Poor effort from Cam McLeod.
There we go.
In the bullpen.
Look at
There
this.
we go.
What is he doing?
Bailed.
Yeah.
See, look at all the bullpen guys giving it. That's rightfully should. That's got to be made. That's got to be made.
That's funny.
No, yeah. Cam called a great game. He was stealing a lot of those low strikes for me, and that low pitch was huge because it set up the off speeds low. I know I got a strikeout on one of those because, it just sets up, if he can, take the glove and really late to the ball and bring it just up to the zone and fool the umpire thinking that that's in the zone, that's just huge, stealing strikes for a team.
This is skied into foul territory, and Bryce Turner has an opportunity to make up for the one that he missed earlier, but he got it.
I don't know. That was a tough play. Running
that was
back,
a tough play.
That's tough. I mean,
I got you.
I think maybe an NFL receiver's got that, but that's about it.
Yeah. Jumping to the defense of his first base.
Well,
yeah, as you should.
Oh yeah, me and him had a conversation. I said, man, if you keep popping it up to center field, I want to see you run hard. At least get to first base or whatever. So,
okay.
So I give him a hard time sometimes, but I'm always there to back him up.
That's good.
I just want to see him run it out. He goes, play Sylvan Lake baseball instead of I'm the 3-hitter, I hit bombs. So even though he hits some moonshots,
he can hit a ball absolutely. I gotta ask you, from Calgary, did you go to a lot of Okotoks Dogs games as a kid?
I did not.
No.
Now I know it's kind of weird to say that, but you know, I didn't really like the dogs. You know, the dogs weren't really our friends in high school and stuff like that.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a little rivalry between Weber, where I played at in high school, and the dogs, and so that was a big one. So
I love it. All right.
I'm not a big dogs fan myself.
No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. We are through 6 complete. Moose Jaw trailing the Sylvan Lake Gulls 2-0, and the Gulls are coming to bat.
what some may say.
Yeah, it's word around street. It's Wing Wednesdays. So
What's a good place to go for wings here in Sylvan Lake, Kai?
I don't know. Everybody just says Buck Wilds has got a good deal on
Been
wings.
there. I have been there.
$5 wings. I'm like, I can't really pass that
Yeah,
up here.
you really can't. Not in this day and age.
No.
Everything's going up.
Exactly.
Price. That's still a deal.
Yeah, inflation is.
It's a
It's
thing.
brutal. I don't like it, to be honest. I think we should change it. But I don't get paid the big bucks to do that.
fair. Above our pay grade.
Yeah.
3-1 the count on the center fielder, William Edwards. Noah Bourgeois into inning number 7. And as we mentioned, no activity in the Gulls bullpen. So with 88 pitches, he's getting close to that mark, though, isn't he?
He is.
Getting up there, yeah.
Yeah, he is. And I think Hape's going to go, discuss his mind, maybe talk about what the plan is going forward. I see number 36, Mickey. That's my boy there. I see him getting warm, so that's usually when this is the type of time where he usually gets the, hey, you might gotta get ready here. So.
Now I did hear through the grapevine that if this game is close and we're down to the last inning or two, we might see number 40, Ty Boudreau, come into play.
Yeah, that is word on the street, but I think we got Mittner going here, and then I think we might have McClaskey, and then I think Boudreau maybe. I don't know.
Boudreau's a third pick potentially.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to see it.
I mean, I would love to see it. I think that would. I wouldn't want, if I was Moose Jaw, I wouldn't want to see it. But
no.
That's fair. I think you're. Yeah, I like what you're thinking there, though. That's good.
Well, they do have Dylan Mittner warming up right now. So.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
And Bob just put the first 2 guys on base, so I'm thinking this. This might be the last inning. Is Tripp Ray's going to go out there and have a little chat with his
What is
pitcher.
Mickey doing down there? That guy's a goof. Look at this guy.
Just hanging out. Just hanging out.
He cracks me up. He's a funny dude. Then Boudreau just sitting, getting all the sun.
Yeah.
Well, if there's
That's
any.
a vet.
Yeah, that's a vet.
He knows his role.
Oh, yeah. Let these guys be the goofballs while he just hangs tight.
Well, there's Mickey. He's munching on something, it looks like.
He's got a little snacky snack.
Well, maybe not. Maybe it was just his hands. I thought he had something.
Okay.
I thought I saw something.
Fouled back there by Eduardo Sainz, the designated hitter tonight. He's 0 for 2, a strikeout in the second and a ground out to third back in the 4th inning. 2 runs in the 3rd inning on 5 hits by the Sylvan Lake Gulls as the Miller Express came to play tonight, showing that they've got a little fight left in them as well. And we wouldn't expect anything different, would we?
Yeah, no. What do you see in the league this year, Kai, with these teams, especially in the Eastern swing? You guys were just there. What do you see the difference between those Eastern teams and the Western teams so far this year, if a difference?
The Eastern teams are pretty good. Oh, yeah.
Good play there by Bob.
Oh, yeah. Let's go. That's not how you draw it up if you're Moose Jaw. That is not how you draw it up.
No, but right back to the pitcher.
Yeah. Hey, I like that, though. Hey, if I'm the fan of the stand, Sylvan Lake Gulls fan, I love that. Look at him. Yeah. Fundamentals. Hey, we practiced that at Cloud right there. That's what we've done.
Bob knows what he's doing with that routine.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, the Eastern teams obviously looking a lot stronger this year, aren't they?
Yeah. I was even looking at Weyburn, they weren't even a bad squad. They're not as good as the Berries or Regina, but they can compete. I mean, they had some good hitters on their team, and they had a good pitcher on the mound. They had one guy that shut the door on us, and he looked like he was throwing firm. So they're a good team, but a lot of those Eastern teams are getting a lot better, But I think the whole league's getting better, to be honest. You look at Energy City, the prospects last year, they weren't great. They were one of the games where you could kind of throw any guy out there and he usually could do good. But now with Energy City, they're a lot better squad. They got some pitchers on their staff. They've got a lot of good hitters. So,
1-2 the count on Jackson Yeager. Runners on first and second with 1 down here in the top half of the 7th inning. 2-0 Gulls lead it here. Last night we saw something that I was quite impressed with. I'm going to get your version of it now here, Kai. Is Our former right fielder, Simon Baker, goes out there and hits 96 on the gun and strikes out a couple of guys. What did you make of that?
Even at Weber, we pitched him a little bit, and he always threw hard. Like he's athletic as they come. Oh, we got to hose him. Come on, Matty.
Throw by Matty Fung. Not in time, though, as Austin Gurney scores all the way from second on that base hit by Jackson Yeager. And that cuts the lead in half. And might be the end of the night for Bob as Matt Hape is making his way out to the mound. As that breaks up the word we didn't say.
Yeah.
Through 6 1/3 innings is a no-hitter.
Yep.
But that's a pretty good effort, I would think, huh?
That's like I think, yeah.
Yeah, the home crowd's giving him some love, as he deserves.
He went out there and gave it his all, and that's all you can ask for. If you're a pitcher and you leave with the lead, I mean, that's your job right there.
Well, Dylan Meitner comes in, and he's going to get loose, get warm, and we will step aside. We'll be back with the rest of this top half of the 7th inning with Kai Rempel when we come back. The first pitching change we've seen this evening, and that is the guy that was supposed to start that you filled in last night for Kai, and that's Dylan Meitner making his appearance tonight. Gotta love seeing him be able to get some action on the mound, especially with mom and dad that just flew in today.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. They flew in.
Yeah, from Vancouver. So he's gonna have a chance to perform in front of them a little bit.
This is Tanner DeGrazia, the left fielder, with one down and runners on first and second. The Gulls with a 2-1 lead over the Moose Jaw Miller Express. Jim Claggett, Gail Clark, and Kai Rempel here on FloCollege. Thank you for joining us, and that's fouled out of play. I swear, if they're giving ice cream for guys that return baseballs, I'm bringing one in.
Well, there you go. There you go.
Kai's got his eye.
There you go.
In the bullpen.
I saw someone moving, and I saw a red glove, and I go, I don't remember red glove early in the year. Oh, look at Mickey, like this guy.
Insert Jaws music right now. Insert the music soundtrack from Jaws.
So what are we talking about, guys?
Yeah, well, I'll let Kai fill us in.
Yeah, well, Tyler Boudreau, he's been hyping himself up, saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna hit 100 on the gun here." So I want to see it here, but what is Mickey doing? Like he's always in the camera. Yeah, look at him. This guy.
Now he's crawling.
Crawling around.
Doing a bear crawl. Oh.
Yeah. Oh no. I was moving out of the way.
And Dylan Meitner behind in the count here, 3-1 on DeGrazio. A double play would be timely about now, wouldn't that?
Yeah, it would be. But, I think he's going to get one here. I think it's going to go 6-4-3 right here. I think that's what it's going to be.
Okay. A little squibber out into shallow right field, and McCarris has to take it on the one bounce. And that loads the bases now for the Miller Express as that drops in front of McCarris. Evan Derringer, the catcher, will now come in and face Dylan Mittner.
Well, this has definitely turned into a ball game, hasn't it? I mean, that is a timely base hit for DeGrazia, and now it's bases loaded, as you were mentioning, Jim. 2-1 Gulls lead it. Top half, 7th.
Yes, there we go.
Okay, that's the way you want to start when you got bases loaded, I would think.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what you need. You get ahead of hitters, a lot easier to get them out.
And
Yeah.
any base to play to for the
Yeah.
infield
Yeah.
makes it a little simpler. They're not quite in to cut off anything, but they've got enough arms there. I think they can get a guy out at home plate.
Oh, just mess. Yeah.
Is that the play then? The ball on the ground, you're going home?
Well, that's the thing. When you play corners in defense, if it's hit right at one of the corner guys, so third base or first base, you're going to come home with it, and hopefully you can double them off at first. But up the middle, if you get the tailor-made double play, that's inning over. Like, that run doesn't score. So, you know, I think with Bryce and Maddie, if the ball takes them towards the base, they might actually go and try and get a double play here, just because it might be easier. So,
No, good to know. Good to know.
There you go.
yeah,
We just got a defensive lesson here.
yeah.
I mean, and if it's played right to the bag, you're going to have a chance to touch the bag and then maybe still make that throw home. Or are they making that throw home first?
I mean, you see, if I'm Bryce in this situation, I
Yeah.
get a rocket hit right at me.
Yeah.
My first thing is going home, and then I'm going right back to the bag.
Yeah,
Right.
because the ball's coming back
Yeah.
at you. Yeah, get the force out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you step on the bag, you got no force now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and saves a run if you.
Saves the run,
Exactly,
too.
yeah. The run is the big thing, yeah. Especially in a tight game like this one.
Well, full count here on Derringer, and he fouls that back. One of these days, that ball's coming right through here.
We had almost a chance already, Kai. It hit the top of that wire, like just the very top, and it was coming right this way.
Oh,
We were hopeful. We were
reach
hopeful.
out there?
We wanted it. We wanted it. Just one baseball would be fun to catch from the broadcast booth, you know?
Yeah.
And then we had there's two ladies over there behind the Gulls dugout eating popcorn, and the foul ball landed right behind them. They didn't see it at all.
What?
Just
They
eating
didn't
the
see it
popcorn.
all.
Those ladies right
Yeah.
there.
These ones
the
right
black
here, yeah.
shirts.
Oh, they're scared. Yeah, they know. They're like, oh.
Yeah, well, they finished their popcorn, so that's good. Right?
Yeah.
Now they'll pay attention to the game.
Now they might be good to watch the rest of this.
Yeah.
Oh, and a strikeout there, a timely one by Dylan Meitner. Now that makes it a little easier. And I don't want to say easier. Well, I guess it is a little simpler, I guess.
Yeah.
His job now is focus on the batter, to get the ball in play. Or what do you do? What's your mindset? What would you do?
It's still attack. If you're a pitcher out there, you got to keep attacking. You got to go right at guys. It makes it a lot easier for the defenses. They only have to get one out here, and they don't have to try and turn a double play. So, it makes it a lot easier on them. And as a pitcher, biggest thing is strike one. And even if you're in Meitner's spot and you fall behind, the two best pitches you got here to try and get ahead of them and then put them away, or maybe do some weak contact right to a guy.
Third baseman Adrian Vivo in the face Dylan Meitner, who took over from Noah Bourgeois, who went through 6 1/3 without giving up anything, and then the Miller Express kind of got to him, and he is now out of the game. But he's hoping that Dylan Meitner can get him out of this jam and keep the Gulls with a 2-1 lead as they head into the bottom half of the 7th. But he's still got his work cut out. He's 3-0 right now and in danger of locking in the tying run.
And with Bourgeois, we got a note from our people next door. He had 100 pitches.
On the dot.
He had 100 pitches.
Okay.
So that's according to our friends next door. So
Okay.
I'm going to go with it.
Yeah. Well, they're the ones that count the pitches.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. 100 pitches and only given one hit. that's some good
Yeah.
work.
There we go. There we go.
good pitch by Meitner. A full count.
He's going to have the whole fans behind him for this one.
Yep. Bases loaded. 2-1 Gulls lead here in the top half of the 7th inning. The 3-2 pitch is grounded down to third, And the throw by Matt Brandt. And a good stretch there by Bryce Turner. And Dylan Meitner gets himself out of a jam with the help of his defense. And you couldn't have drawn up any better, I don't think.
No, you know, if you're a pitcher out there, you're going, man, I love my defense.
So we got no runs, one run. It looks like 2 base hits for the Miller Express. 2-1 Gulls lead it. They come. Bye-bye.
I told you.
Bye-bye.
I told you I like my 24 more than their 24. I told you.
And I can back that up. That's exactly what Kai Rempel said.
I'm not lying here. I'm not fibbing.
No, you are not fibbing, my friend. That is a timely shot by the Gulls right fielder who can put a charge in the ball, can he not?
Yeah, he's got some crazy juice. Oh, that ball is smacked.
Well, you know, I was watching them just watch Kristen Garcia pitch, and both him and Matty Fung locked eyes. They shook their head. Yeah, okay, we see what this guy can do. We see what he's doing. We know what's coming down the line at us. And sure enough, first pitch, he knew it was coming his way.
Oh yeah.
He it's like he read the play. He got a little cheat sheet before he came out, and he knew it was going to come down.
Oh yeah.
And that was awesome. That was a great hit.
Yeah, that ball is munched.
That was his pitch.
Yeah.
And you know, there's parents there.
Yeah.
Of Matty Fung. Rob Fung is amongst the crowd there. Him and his wife.
The deliverer of fortune cookies and sourdough bread.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't get to try one of those fortune cookies. I want to try one.
Okay.
Well, I got lots. I'll have to bring some by next
All
time.
right.
There you go.
Hey,
they are good.
You drop that off in the locker room. Those will be gone in 5 seconds.
believe it.
I guarantee.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Hungry baseball players? Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
Well, I'll tell you what. That sourdough bread I put in the oven when I got home last night.
Pretty good.
Embarrassingly, I want to admit that I ate half of it.
Oh, wow.
I ate half a loaf. Yeah. To myself.
I don't know if that's too embarrassing. I think,
It's a lot of bread.
I think that's a compliment to the people who made it.
I mean, that's a lot of bread. That's
I
a lot
applaud.
of bread.
Yeah.
It was deadly.
Hey, if you can. Oh yeah.
Oh, Matty Fung turns on this one. That's got
Go
a
ball.
ride to right field, off the wall.
Let's go.
That is a Great stand-up double by Matty Fung, keeping things rolling.
Oh, Matty Fung getting into it. Oh, yeah. That's what you love to see.
He's feeling it now.
Oh, he crushes this thing. So nice to see healthy Matty Fung in the building. That guy,
huh?
tell you what, him at the top of the order every single game. You put G-Roy and Cooper behind him. It was going to be a long night for any other team.
Yeah.
Now, we've talked about this before, and you can maybe relate to this, is that we got spoiled by last year's team. And it seems like this year's team, you want to make the comparison, but you shouldn't be making the comparison. But we know that, there's another well-hit ball by Noah Conans, and off the base of the wall. Matty was almost on third by that time. So I think I said a couple of runs would be nice, and they delivered.
Yeah, you're trying to shoo me away, and now we're scoring up here. See, you don't change anything. You just let it be, and that's how they
said
score.
You're not superstitious.
Hey, I'm not, but see, look at it.
I'm just trying to move out of your way. You're just like a steamroller. You're just taking over, man. And my job's safe. I'm not safe at all. Here you go.
No.
Both him and his teammate there that were up here the other night during the rain delay. I was worried that my job might be taken.
Me and Ben. Yeah, it's sad to see him go, but.
And another base hit. Oh my goodness. There's Jaden Flores.
It's a hitting parade going on here in Sylvan Lake in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Wow.
Yeah. Well, they seem to like what Christopher Garcia is throwing there. Or Christian Garcia.
Well, and that will lead maybe some changes in the bullpen as you see both 36 and 40 getting loose for Moose Jaw, and 36 Jordan Bauer and number 40 Aman Kondo for the Warriors, the Moose Jaw Miller Express.
I need Bryce to drive one here. I need him to just let one eat. I want to see it. I was at first base.
Take his doggo for a walk and let him eat.
Yeah, I saw him at first base. I was at first base coach, and I saw him hit that big shot, and I was so happy. Yes, there we go. Is he running? Oh, he is running. Good for him.
These guys are just, I don't know. They seem to like whatever Garcia's serving. They're eating it up.
I'll tell you what, Matty Fung probably had the scouting report on this guy, and he just let the whole staff know, and, man, it was almost back-to-back home runs, like bottom of the wall. Like, it was almost there.
Yeah, the baseball hat trick there.
Yeah, we had that in Okotoks when we went back-to-back-to-back.
Oh, did you?
That was nuts.
Okay.
I think it was Cooper, Flew.
Okay.
It was Cooper, Flewelling, and then it was also Elijah Hamill. We saw that happen.
Okay, those are three good bats.
Yeah.
Have you been keeping track of where Nathan Flewelling, what he's been doing?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
We'll send a text either way a couple times, just see how he's doing. He asked me how I was doing, so I keep up on him. It looks like he's doing good. You can always he posts like 6 things on his story, and I'm clicking through that. I'm like, he's probably doing good now. He's got 6 things on the story of him throwing a guy out and hitting a bomb. So, I mean,
I'll be getting famous.
Yeah.
Instagram famous.
Oh, yeah.
Another base hit. Nope, that's right to dead center, but that's going to drive in another one as William Edwards doesn't really have to move to make the grab on Brock Tiarina. But that's the first out of the inning, folks. The last 5 guys, actually the last 6 have hit the ball solid somewhere.
Yeah, like this one was crushed. It was just right at a guy.
Yeah.
That's what sucks about hitting is you can make the swing that you want. It's just right to a guy. It's like, man, you just got to tip your cap to that.
That's why you're a pitcher.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's why I get the easy job.
And Tiarina just came over and gave Ray a little bit of a tip there on that last pitch that he saw. So it's not going to matter, though, because this guy's, coming out. New pitcher coming in for the Miller Express. And that's number 36, Jordan Bauer. So as he comes in, we'll let him warm up. We'll get That is no other than Mr. Ty Boudreau on the mound, returning yet again for another season with the Sylvan Lake Gulls for now.
He's like the Dr. Seuss cat came back character. You know, or maybe it's not even Dr. Seuss. It was somebody else, I think. Anyway, he's got his red glove right there because he is a Texas Tech Red Raider. But you picked that glove out from the bullpen from way up here. You just saw it. You went, uh-oh. One and two the count here on Ben Wallachek, the second baseman. Can't read my own writing. That's fouled back against the screen as Wallachek. 96 on the gun for Ty Boudreau.
Wow. Yeah, he can throw.
Yeah. I think he really enjoys this this area of the world. And being on that mound is like his second home, I think.
Well, it's just so cool. Just the family that's embraced this community. You know, mom and dad moved from Calgary, now live in Sylvan Lake. They've stayed season ticket holders regardless if Ty is here or not. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they are also billet parents as well. And yeah, that's the third time we've seen Ben Walczak go down to the turf. Let's take a look at this again, see how close this came to Ben. That one, okay. Yeah, that one a little closer than the first one that we saw earlier on tonight.
Yeah. He does tend to hit the ground, doesn't he? And that's fouled out of play. He's giving Ty Boudreau a good battle here, and with a full count as we lead things off here in the eighth inning. 6-1 Gulls lead it. Game 2 of the two-game set with the Moose Jaw Miller Express. And the off-speed pitch missing down low. And Wallachuk works a walk out of Boudreau, and that brings up the top of the order, Thomas Soto.
What do you think of just the emotion that Ty Boudreau brings to the baseball field when he's on the mound? I mean, he has shown us year after year he's got a lot of emotion, doesn't he?
Yeah, you know, he loves the game and he loves being a Gull. So, he's trying to do his best out there, and so he's going to show his emotions to try and, he's giving it all out there.
Yeah, he's leaving it on the field.
He's also looking back at the radar gun. He's not too happy.
I think he is more focused on that because I believe he told you he wanted to hit.
You wanted to hit 100?
Yeah,
triple digits.
Or 99, somewhere in there.
Oh, okay.
I'd say
I'm
100.
sure if he hits 99, then he's really going to be mad.
Yeah.
Because he knows he can be close.
And Wallachuk takes off for second. Good backup there by Jaden Flores. And keeps the ball from going out into center field. So a stolen base there for Wallachuk. So the Express not done yet. To quote the Monty Python movie. Kind of.
Good movie reference.
Well,
I'll give it to you. That's
good. Yeah, thank you.
That's a deep bag for sure. That's a deep bag.
A teabag. I love it.
Oh, I'm not up with the lingo.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry,
I know.
What?
So good.
A deep bag?
Like, well,
Yeah, you got a deep bag. You can joke about anything.
Oh,
you can make references and tie things together.
Oh, okay.
That's what it means.
That's like a compliment.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is.
Okay.
If you have a deep bag, people love to hang out with you. Gross. Buddy had no chance.
Okay. I don't know if I can repeat this. I'll repeat it when we're off, Mike. Calvin Bellows in my ear. Calvin, don't do that to me. Okay. Strikeout there for Ty Boudreau. So there we go. Now I can't get my focus back.
Gotta dial in.
I got a visual here, and it's
Hey,
like,
this is when you gotta dial in as a pitcher.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is late game heroics here.
there you go.
Kai Rempel might replace it.
Wow, that's right by.
Dial in.
Yeah.
Dial in.
My bag just got shorter.
No, it doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work like that? Okay. If it's deep, it's deep.
Yeah, if it's deep, it's deep.
Okay. I'm catching on, man.
You don't just. Your bag doesn't disappear. It stays there.
It stays there.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, this could go sideways real easy, but and a well-hit ball into the gap in right center, but Aiden McCarris had it, didn't have it. Ben Wolochuk is having an
He's
adventure
having
over
a
at third.
Very big adventure over at third. Couple whoops, back and forth, round third, trip, fall,
Let's
get
see what
up,
he does
look
here.
out.
We're not going to see it because we're following the ball. That's true, but not sure what Aiden hit.
I just closed the glove too early.
Yeah.
Just hit off the web.
And then, whoops.
No,
yeah.
no, you're not going
Hands
anywhere.
up. And then he hits himself in the helmet like, oh, man, what are you doing?
He's gassed out there. He needs to take a second.
So I think we're going to probably have to give an error to the right fielder on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hate to say it, but.
Yeah. Well, he got a home run, so, you know.
Yeah, he's having a good day.
Cut him a little slack there.
Yeah. Oh, no. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm always on my teammate's side.
I know you are.
You can't put me in that position to say, no, you got to test your teammate here. You can't put me in there.
No, I would never ask any player to do that to another player. No. I mean, we try and do our best to remain unbiased to a point. I mean, we are obviously employed by the Sylvan Lake Gulls, and so we do like to talk about the players. But when a guy makes a mistake,
Yeah.
And that's sport. And this is hit out to center field, and that's where fly balls go to die. As Noah Connings tracks that one down, but that does score a run as Ben Wolochuk this time stays on his feet and makes it home.
Now RBI for Austin Gurney with that fly-out sacrifice. Center field, and
Yeah,
the throw
left center.
comes in quickly.
I think you can call it whatever as long as you got center field in there. It probably
That's
works.
It.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Don't know why I thought Matty Funk caught that ball. Clearly, I'm not paying attention enough.
I see.
Yeah.
Am I the only one paying attention?
Yeah,
here?
you
Come
must
on,
be.
let's
I'm sitting back too far.
Why don't we just go?
Yeah. We'll let Kai finish.
You know, I'd like to sit back and listen to how he handles that by himself, you know?
You know,
I could figure it out.
I think the guy would do just fine. And
I think he
honestly,
would
I
too.
think
If I bet-
baseball doesn't pan out for him, that might be his new career in the
Yeah,
future.
I could. A little media practice for my dad all the
Mount
time.
Royal? Do the Mount Royal TV radio program. There you go. A couple buddies I know that went to that program.
Oh, that's gross.
Yeah.
Hey, if you had me and Ben up here, I bet you we could do a broadcast.
You
Me
could.
and Ben,
Yeah.
I wish he was here right now, but if we were up here, I bet you we'd put on.
I
on
I
a
was
show.
standing behind, just listening to the off-air commentary. And it was, it was something.
That
You
was,
guys were commenting on literally everything
Yeah,
and anything.
see, you can have a conversation about anything.
Umpires, music, all of it.
Oh, yeah. Not going to stay in play? Nope.
No.
Kids, heads up.
Yeah, that time people knew it was coming. Made a little bit of a last-second dodge.
So did you see tomorrow night's Toonie Dog?
Toonie Dog
That's
night.
your favorite night, isn't it?
Oh, I love Toonie Dogs. You got to get a Toonie Dog in you, right, Kai?
Yeah, I'll probably get Toonie Dog.
Kai's going to get a Toonie Dog in
Yeah, I think we're gonna get probably Toonie Dogs in the locker room as there.
Oh, yeah.
Big dog.
They feed you pretty good in the locker room,
Yeah,
don't
that's
they?
pretty good. They had a good chicken today.
Although the spicy chicken that I came in the other day, you were about as red as Boudreaux's glove.
Yeah, I was hot. I was like,
It was hot.
They put some in there that I was like, wow.
That was the gringo stomach right there. It was like,
I was like, ooh, I can't handle this. So I had to throw it out. I was
and
like,
then Galenzo walks over. Gavin Galenzo walks over and says, are you going to finish that?
Yeah.
No. He took it and he just gobbles it
Yeah,
down.
I was like, hey, you do you, man. If you
And
need
same
it.
with Bowman.
Yeah.
Ben Bowman did the same thing. So. And a good throw by Trip Ray.
Yeah, he's
and
off,
they
he's
got
off.
him. They got him.
Yeah.
A good job there by Trip Ray and a good tag there by Matt Brandt to bring the inning to a close. And Strand, well, nobody, because nobody was on base. But we are through, what do we are, 7.5. And the Gulls with a 6-2
that's a pretty good start, if you ask me, for Sylvan Lake Gulls in the bottom half of this 8th inning.
Okay, I'll ask you. Was that a good start?
I'd say that's a great start. In
There
fact, we want to thank Kai Rempel again for joining us here in the broadcast booth. No longer with us now, but just great to always have.
No longer in the booth. Let's
Yes,
rephrase
yes,
that.
That's rephrase us. Yeah, he didn't die, we promise. But
He killed it, but,
yeah,
you know.
he killed it. He killed the broadcast, 100%. Absolutely
No
crushed
kidding.
it. Did a great job joining us here in the broadcast booth in the Gulls Nest, and it's always a pleasure to get a player up here joining us.
It's just and I've said it, and I beat this horse to death and bring it back to life and beat it again, but their insight on the entire game. Like he had, he's talking about both pitchers and what they're doing. And he talks about why the infielders, the corner infielders, what they're going to do if the ball's hit hard to them, bases loaded, and that the middle infielders are back and what they're going to do. Like, it's just, it helps, and that's the color of the game of baseball, the flavor, and it just adds to it. I like it. I can sit there and listen to these guys talk baseball. I can't understand half of what they're saying. And a strikeout there on Aiden Macaris, or Macaris. I'll call him just about anything now. Home run hitter is what I call him. That's the first out here in the number 14, Jimmy Peltier will come in to hit for Matty Fung, who Matty had a good night tonight.
Sure
Couple
did.
of base hits, scored a couple of runs, 2 for 3.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he's, we've got several candidates for player of the game. Noah Bourgeois, Jaden Flores with a couple of RBIs and 3 base hits in 4 at bats, and then Matty Fung with 2 for 3 tonight.
It's definitely been a good night for the offense and defense. Noah Connings as well. He's got an RBI and 2 for 4 at the plate. Couple doubles on the night.
It's good to see these guys come to life.
Absolutely.
Because I think they were, after that road trip, I think they were just maybe a little
Deflated.
Deflated, yeah. That's a good way to describe it.
Yeah. Yeah, and
it can happen.
And then you come home, you get the home crowd behind you. You get a huge win last night, 9-1. And you got a long stretch of games, a busy stretch, 9 games in 11 nights. Like that's it's not easy.
I wish you would quit bringing that up.
I know on us.
No,
yeah.
I'm just
it's for my own reminder, basically. Like, Kale, you're in for a long haul here. But no, it's gonna be good. But it's even better if you can start it on a winning note and you can get a couple wins together, especially back at home.
Yes.
I think
absolutely.
that's huge.
And that's where, I think in any sport, if you play strong at home and then saw off a few wins on the road, you're a good ball team. Whether it's football, baseball, hockey, basketball, it doesn't matter. Winning at home is where you need to start and then build from there, right?
Absolutely.
And this is skied out into left field by Jimmy Peltier. And that's the second out of the 8th inning here. Matt Brandt still over at second base after a leadoff double. And the center fielder, Noah Connings, steps in. And he hit a bullet out to, was it left field?
Yeah.
Back in the 7th inning?
Did, yeah. It had a chance.
Off the bottom of the fence, right?
I thought for sure it was going to carry the distance. Just the way it came off the bat, the sound it made and everything. But
that was a stretch of 5 hits in a row, I think, for the Gulls in that one.
Yeah, and it was started off with the homer.
Yeah. Home run and then
double,
and then a double and
single,
a single and a single.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. They found their bats.
Yeah, the bat gates opened. That's for sure.
The
See what I did there?
2-0 the count. Noah Connings, Matt Brandt over at second base, and that's
that went off
fouled.
Mr. Chipley himself, the
Back
umpire
off of
behind
the home plate umpire, yeah.
Oh, he's shaking it off. Look at him. He's aware. I love Jeff Chipley. He's just such a character kind of guy. He loves the game. You know, this is an umpire that takes his job seriously and just so passionate about the ball, about the game. And every time, you know, we get a great opportunity, we get to chat with him, and yeah, instantly you could read it on his lips. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Right dead center of the mask. Ooh.
He's probably taken worse ones.
Probably. That'll ring your ears for a while, I think.
Here's a guy that not only umpires in the WCBL, but he umpires in the WCL. He does AAA ball. He does it all, this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he travels all over Western Canada to do it. All over.
And that's one hopper to second, and
we got a call from the first base coach thinking that was
that Noah? Was that Bob making that call, or was that usually you say Cam Diaz over there? But anyways, that brings.
And I was here for it. Incredible show, great time. Everybody in attendance had a fun time. But now you got Josh Ross, you know, a top country artist coming right here to Central Alberta. So.
Bryce Hampton out in left field where Matty Fung was. So Jimmy Peltier came in and hit for Matty Fung, and then Bryce Hampton goes out to left field to take over from the Gulls left fielder. So pinch hitter and then Bryce Hampton. Those are well attended, those summer send-offs, are they not?
Well, yeah, I mean, we only had the 1 year so far. So first year, I think it was pretty successful.
Okay.
There was room for more people to come, for sure. But I think that's just kind of what they're trying to do. They're trying to grow it every single year. And, I mean, it was a party. They had a lot of things going on. This is grounded right to shortstop and Rowan O'Connor making the throw over to Bryce Turner in time for the first out. So 2 outs away for the Gulls. Yeah, and you know what the cool thing about summer send-off is not only is there the music, but there's food trucks that they brought down on the field in behind the stage that you can go and get your food fixins. They got lots of great tasty drinks. They also got like little games like cornhole toss in the field as well that fans and guests can play while they're waiting for bands to come on and come off. And yeah, and then I think they also might have had the radar gun set up in one of the bullpens so you could throw to see how hard you could throw.
I'd like to try that and see how bad I am.
Yeah, I know. So, I mean, they had a lot of things kind of going on. Just so many different things that you can kind of do while enjoying live entertainment. And it was
there you go.
Beautiful night for last year, and obviously we're hoping for another beautiful night this year.
There you go.
So,
well, it sounds like a good time. 0-2 the count on Jackson Yeager. Ty Boudreau still on the mound for the Gulls, getting his work in. Noah Bourgeois started the game, had an outstanding effort throughout the night. He gave up a hit finally in the 7th inning. And actually there was only one base runner, and that was in the 3rd. And Ty Boudreau, not only can he throw hard, but he can be crafty as well, as he drops down to 82 and strikes out Jackson Yeager for the 2nd out. So 1 out away from the Gulls with a two-game sweep of the Moose Jaw Miller Express. This is Tanner DeGrazia stepping in. 93 miles per hour on the radar gun.
So before we get too far into this pitch, I found out why Bob is named Bob.
Uh-oh, how did you find out?
Bob's dad gave me a nice message on Instagram, follow, and Nick is his name, Nick Bourgeois, and he told me that when Bob went to Cloud County, this is hit into left field.
Hit.
This has a chance all the way back to the wall, and you can kiss it goodbye. Tanner DeGrazia answers Ty Boudreau in a big way and hits a solo shot deep to left field.
Well, I guess if you're going to give up a home run, it's best with nobody on base, with 2 out.
Yeah, that was a well-hit ball.
I'm sure Ty Boudreau's not happy with it.
No.
He doesn't like giving up anything, let alone a home run. So now he's got Evan Derringer. So continue your story.
So I'm gonna wrap this up quickly. So when Noah went to Cloud County, he had his Instagram handle named Bobby Bourgeois. And then that's how he was introduced to the group, and it stuck because he forgot his Instagram handle was still saying Bobby Bourgeois on it.
Okay.
So it's that's how he got Bob.
We just pulled the curtain back on the mystery.
Back. So thank you to
thank you, Nick.
Nick and the Bourgeois family. He said we decided to let you guys guess enough on how he got that.
So he was toying with us.
He was toying with us.
Well, that's, you know what? That's the only way to play with us.
Fair enough.
Is toy with us.
Touche, sir. Touche.
And a strikeout to end the game. In typical Ty Boudreau manner, he rears back and fires a pitch past Evan Derringer and closes out the game for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. A 6-3 win over the Moose Jaw Miller Express. That's 2 in a row for the Gulls since returning from Saskatchewan. And I'm sure they're loving the home cooking.
You know, another great win. And it was one of those games where Moose Jaw kept it tight pretty much right to the bitter end. I mean, yeah, things open up near the 7th inning, but, you know, Moose Jaw didn't go down without a fight. And, you know, it was a totally different game than what we saw last night, from a 9-1 commanding win to a 6-3 win where at one point it was only a 1-run game.
Yeah.
And I love the way the Sylvan Lake Gulls responded, you know, after, you know, seeing Moose Jaw starting to pile some hits together, you know, starting to, you know, figure out a tired Noah Bourgeois. And, you know, Sylvan Lake Gulls backup pitching staff came in and they shut the door in a big, big way. And I think it was just one of those character-building wins for the Sylvan Lake Gulls tonight.
I think you're right. I think you nailed it right there.
So we'll hand things down to field level. Our in-game host, Jared Waldo, waiting for the player of the game. And I'm thinking his dad, Nick's going to be pretty happy about this one with who we decide to pick for the player of the game with 100 pitches thrown. We're going to go down to field level.
Let's meet the player of the game. Live from behind home plate, here is Waldo.
All right, thank you very much, Joe. Yes, your EG Auctions player of the game. Tonight's starting pitcher, Noah Bourgeois. Noah, from where we stood, from where all these fans were tonight, that was a heck of a ball game. Just talk about the performance tonight and getting the win.
Yeah, good for the team. Personally, just filled it in the zone, let the hitters do the work. And you know what they say, 2 wins is weak, but 3 is a streak.
I like that, actually. That's pretty good. You know, you're not giving yourself enough credit. You go 6 1/3, 1 hit, 3 strikeouts there. That's a heck of a line. Just talk about how you were feeling.
Early on, felt good. Throughout the game, started to get a little bit tired, but defense was there for me and ended up with a pretty good line for the win.
You know, last couple of games, it seems the bats have been going, the pitching, the arms have been great. Ty comes in and finishes that. You guys have just, it seems like there's momentum building with this team right now.
Yeah, it's an exciting time to be a Gull.
Well, you know what? Let's go get that streak tomorrow night. How's that sound?
Absolutely, let's do it.
All right, your player of the game, Noah Bourgeois for EG Auctions. Noah, thank you very much.
2 is weak, 3 is a streak from Mr. Noah Bourgeois.
Words to live by, I guess.
Put that on a t-shirt, I think, that's for sure. Well, the Sylvan Lake Gulls will look to make it 3 in a row tomorrow night when they welcome the Brooks Bombers to town for Toonie Dog Thursday night. You gotta love to see that. So, no, I think, again, like I mentioned, character-building win. You know, you had Moose Jaw on your heels. They were trying to find a way to get back into this game. They kind of did. Gulls bats came alive, and then next thing you know, Gulls found a way to shut the door.
You know, this is, boy, can this be the genesis of a team coming together? I don't know if we're witnessing that right now. Like Noah said, 2's weak, 3's a streak. But let's see if we can continue that going here at home, and that's where you need to continue that going. And no, it's fun to watch these guys get it together, and when they get it together, they are as good as any team in this league, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Well, it's going great so far to start this home stretch. As we've been talking, the grind is just getting started for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. As you know, we saw a lot of great defensive work, but some really good pitching that Noah Bourgeois set up, and he got a couple strikeouts himself. Matty Funk, his game continues to impress. You know, a great double play there for Moose Jaw. They weren't going down without a fight by any means. The bats, they opened up, they came alive, but, you know, Moose Jaw, they answered back.